All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. Good to see everyone. Can you see and hear me okay? Get a 5x5 or make sure sound is good this time. And Verna's saying, you like that one better. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. And you can see and hear 5x5. Awesome. Good. Well, we got some people in here. So welcome, everyone. Let me write this down. So, welcome back. If you know me, my name's Matt, and it's good to see you. Well, if you know me, you know my name is Matt, and it's good to see you here. If you don't, you're new. Welcome, Grafted Branch Homestead. This is our Saturday night live stream, which is a little freer. I kind of planned it out almost like I like to think of like a little variety show almost, and some segments to keep the flow going. But it is open to any questions, comments, or anything anyone wants to discuss. Preferably urban homestead related or preparedness or quail or kind of a whole cornucopia of things. So good evening, everyone. And let's see, we got some people in here tonight. So first of all, Mr. Landfill, first to show up and comment at 3:28. So thank you very much. It looks like also got Verna and CDB. J. Mary's in here. Sykes in here. Renegade's in here. We got a good group. Thank you guys for showing up. So we weren't here last week, and the week before that was a little bit different. We showed White Sands from our trip. And so this week I have a little bit to show from the second part of that trip. And then after the stream, that full video will be released, kind of like the last one. So last week we had some really important things going on. There was a lot, and that's some personal stuff that if some other people want to share, they can. But also, something you have to understand, some things do stay off YouTube, and we do want to separate our life a little bit. But it's good to be back. So Verna's saying 9 watching, but only 6 thumbs up. Well, that's awesome. We got 9 in here. That blows me away. I wasn't sure with getting the thumbnail up so late if we would have people. But yes, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do that. That definitely helps. If you're watching this in replay or later, drop a comment, even if it's just dropping a thumbs up there and doing a thumbs up. I guess the things I got to say now that I'm on YouTube is, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Make sure the bell is to all. So I hope everyone's doing all right. It looks like the country is in kind of a shambles with the weather. It's either scorching hot in some of it or flooding in others. So if you guys want to share your weather, you can go ahead and type in weather and either your zip code or city or something like that. And hopefully Nightbot should drop the weather in your place. Also, if you type in GBH, as in Grafted Branch Homestead, it will drop your channel link if you have a channel and would like to show that. Hey, H, good to see you. And hello to everyone in the Spicy Peach Farms. Thank you very much. So it's good to see you guys in here tonight. It looks like someone is trying it. So Verna, there we go. Check out Verna's channel. We got Mr. Landfill showing the weather there in Michigan. So it is clear, 70 degrees, a little bit of wind, but wow, that humidity, 89%. That is crazy. So it has been hot here for sure. Really no humidity, no rain, no anything. We're part of the scorched earth area of the country in New Mexico. So it's been triple digits easily. I know my car read at the highest 114. And I know that varies between that and the realized temperature and actual temperature, but we've been up in the triple digits here. It has been hot. So let's see here. So I had a little poll, a YouTube poll that I'm going to show. We had a couple people took part in. And I don't know if the fans are too loud. Let me know. So we are actually in our monsoon season here. Our monsoon season gives us a little bit of rain. What that means is it will rain for like 5-10 minutes, a couple days a week. We haven't had any of it lately. It's just been scorched earth, but normally, yeah. So let's see here. All right. So we did a little bit of poll. A couple people took part in. I got it up just earlier today, but and I should have added a few more options here. But really, I was kind of asking what people's plans for with their animals and their livestock in this heat. Now, with a lot of people, like I know Verna's been having thunderstorms and some of the country's flooding. I should have added on here. I don't have to worry about water. It's not a problem. But coming from the desert. So either collected rainwater systems, if you supply the needs for your animals and livestock with just the hose and faucet, stored rotational supply of water already on the land. If you have a pond, I guess this would include if it rains a lot, or a stream, or they're on their own. It makes them stronger, or dinner. We do a little bit of a combination of different things here, but with the heat, I've noticed a lot of YouTubers and different people talking about water, the ones that at least that are in the hotter areas, and making sure you have water on yourself and those concerns. You can find a lot of videos on purifying it. I did mention in the little thumbnail EDC water, or everyday carry water, and that's just my kind of public service announcement, is everywhere you go, no matter where you go, in the summer, make sure you have some water on you, even if it's a short trip and you don't think there's any reason you need it. Who knows, you could get broken down or stranded if you have your animals, dogs with you. Just carry some water. I do have a little video. There we go. Let's see a couple comments. Renegade, and now Renegade's in New Mexico too. Matt, hope y'all are handling the crazy heat. I'm staying busy with 50 plus chicks. Wow. 3 days old to 6 weeks. And your flock. So I am handling this crazy heat okay. We have our ACs really don't work. I have fans going here. I'm actually going to show something. My wife's not in here, otherwise she would laugh probably, but no one gets to see. So I look presentable right now, but I am actually in my shorts. It is hot, very hot. And so Renegade saying, yeah, no rain in months. So it does not rain here. Rain is actually a big problem. If we are on the urban homestead, very reliant on city water and power and all that, obviously still. We are learning and trying to move away from that. So I'm fully aware without the city water, the first thing to die would be my garden. It would dry up. We do have rain catchment off the roof that comes off shingles, so I don't want to drink it, but I'll water ornamental plants and some other plants that are filtered with that water. So that would keep it going for a little bit. But I really wanted to specifically talk about that I think a lot of people don't, is keeping extra supplies of water on hand for your animals, your pets, and for livestock. What systems do you use to keep them watered? And have you thought about what you would do if maybe city water stopped for a bit because of power outages, or if there were problems, excess heat? So I'm going to show a little video. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do here, kind of where I want to go, and then hop in the comments a little bit. Shorts, yes. All right, let me play this little video here. And so this is my part of living insurance. I call it living insurance because versus preparedness or things like that. We prepare for everything we do in life, whether it be going out to the game or movies. We make sure we have our wallet, our phone, the things we need on us. Hopefully you're carrying water, all the way up to preparing for things like food shortages, brownouts, maybe a job loss. I know personally, my job, we've been having a lot of layoffs and there's been a lot of uncertainties there. So preparing for things like that. This is preparing for your water for animal and livestock. So I'm going to play this real quick and then we'll hop in. A couple comments. Verna's saying it's been in the 90s here. Now I know 90s for you with your humidity is probably, at least here we can get cool. With humidity, that is hard. I refuse to use air conditioning as it doesn't work well enough. Yeah, climatized. Yeah, and the animals, that's what we do too. I'll mention something really quick there is, when I first started with the chickens and birds, I was trying to put a little heat lamp in the coop. Don't do that. Whether it be to heat them or cool them down, maybe some little fans or things, but climatizing them is the best thing you can do. And I've done that to myself and my family, really. I have broken down, and I do use an air conditioner that's running in here right now, a window one. It's running in here for my live stream right now. I normally have it set to keep this room at 80 degrees. That's only because it's the room that I store my long-term food storage in. And so you kind of want to temperature control that a little bit. But yeah. Yeah. So heat's a challenge. Well, you're off grid, I believe, aren't you, Renegade? So this is something we're trying to think about too. We do have the swamp cooler, and we do use it. Whether that works is negligible. We do use some fans, but that's majority of it. I don't even have AC in the car. My car is breaking down, so. Okay. Rain catchment, yeah, but without rain, it's a mute point. Yeah. So that's a challenge in the desert here too. So that's something I want to address a little bit. Let me go ahead and play the little video. Hey, Matt here, and it is hot. So it's been well into the triple digits here in the Southwest desert. Whew. So the little quail need a lot of water, and it's important to keep them hydrated, especially in these heats. Right here I have a 5-gallon bucket that feeds this cage here. This one I'm still having to water by hand, and so these gallon milk jugs come in handy. I'll be hooking that up soon when we hatch out more of our little quail, but for now it's extremely important to keep your birds hydrated. So my main cage will last for about 2 weeks off that 5-gallon bucket. And back here, I have Nikki. She's kind of hopping around. I'm giving her water in her dish right now, but it will be fed from the system in a moment. The chickens are hanging out in the water in the pool. So you can see right is a 20-gallon container that catches all the rainwater off the roof from this quail shack. Right now I'm not finished with that project, so it's not fed into anything. It's being fed, and I empty it out with a siphon, but soon that will be 20 gallons of water that is planned to feed from there into the quail shack and feed up that 5-gallon bucket there. The chicken water right now is flowing in from there. I have been changing it out every morning because with the heat they've been getting in it. So I dump it out and let that run. It is hot. There's some of the Three Sisters garden you see to the left there. But as we go in the chickens, the rainwater harvesting system off the back of their coop here is 20 gallons. And I do fill it because it hasn't rained quite enough lately. And so that's pumped in with a little 12-volt pump from the solar system, and that pumps under. I click it on with the solenoid there, and that comes on in the morning and in the afternoon just to fill up the chickens' water there. Alrighty. So I got my timer hooked in, and it is set to go off from 7:30 to 7:31. So in 15 seconds the system should click on here, and we're going to see it run for a minute. There we go. Sounded good. Everybody. Right here. See that pumping water. Success. So my chickens use about a gallon of water a day, and the quail use about half. depending on how hot it is, what time of year it is, and how big the flocks are. We also have 2 small dogs who collectively drink about half a gallon to a gallon of water a day, depending on whether they're outside or inside and how hot it is. So we have this container here, like a lot of people do. It holds about 4 gallons of water and will last us a little over a week. So in addition to the dog water and chicken water, I also find it handy to keep these 1 gallon milk jugs that we empty clean and fill with water. I can keep them in milk crates. They're easily stackable, and I have about 5 stacks of these right now, so that's going to be 20 gallons of water. Always good to keep extra on hand that I can give the birds in case their bigger systems run out, or give the dogs. Also good to use in case I step on their water dish on accident and spill their daily allotment. So good idea, keep some water on hand for your animals. It's something that can be overlooked a lot. Keep them hydrated and healthy. Awesome. Yes, so keep your animals hydrated. It's important. Also, I guess my point is kind of just make sure you have some extra water on hand too in case things happen. My garden would die before my animals would. Make sure you're keeping their things topped off this time of year if you are using systems like we are. Like Renegade was saying, it's our monsoon season, so we might get, I think it's like maybe 0.3 of an inch if we're lucky. It really doesn't rain. So I've been filling our systems with the hose or the faucet. A couple ways I've been looking at around this, and I mentioned Frugal Off Grid a lot, but he's working on some projects that I like. He has 2 projects he's done. One, he did a DIY underground cistern that holds a lot of water. He also just got finished building a water tower with an IBC toad on it. Now here, we're in a position where this isn't our forever spot. We are going to be moving to land sometime, hopefully sooner than later. But we are here for a bit, and we're blessed. And I am caught in a spot where I am doing things to learn and push, so that way I have more knowledge and what I need when we get on land. And also not trying to do too much. That when we leave, it's mute. I also don't want to stop myself from preparing and doing stuff like that. So I had a couple ideas. I thought about maybe doing an underground cistern, a DIY homemade one, under the greenhouse I'm building, or possibly doing a water tower. I think I've landed on I might do a small water tower. I kind of want to get an IBC tote anyways, and that's something that could go with us to land. So I want to put it up on a small water tower. I need to look at how tall I could do that in the city and all. That way I can use gravity power. And I would have to pump water up to that from rain collection systems or whatnot. But really where I'm at, I don't have a well, I don't have a stream or those possibilities. So the best I can do is store as much water as possible here, both for myself, for my family, cooking and cleaning, but also for the animals and whatnot. So that's the goal while we're here. It's not a sustainable one, but it's the best we can do it where we're at. So, hey, thanks, Verna. Yeah, so the garden, we have some, so our fall garden's going to be great, and it's doing well now. Different parts of it are really succeeding. There were certain things I did wrong with planting kind of late to avoid frosts, but the heat caught us. So we had successes and failures in different areas. We got a lot of potatoes already and cabbages and things. But tomorrow during the live stream, I do want to show more of the garden when I can be outside. So you guys stay tuned for that. I do have a small little video though I'm going to show here. Yeah. So I figure the skills, I can take what I can move with me that I've built here. But really, those skills don't weigh anything, and I can take those. So when I do get on land, I'm hopefully not starting from scratch. I know, okay, I need to build this. This is how it works. I need to do this and that first, and hopefully get a head start. But let's play this little garden video. You're going to cut it, or am I?
Let Daddy take it.
Okay. Let me cut it, because I got to get back in there, and I don't want to cut the one in front of it, and then I'm going to hand it to you.
Okay, get ready.
Okay.
Don't stand in the camera's way. Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Hopefully I'm getting the base of it. Okay. Can't really see. Casey.
Oh.
So I think that's the only. And that was the end of that. So yeah, if you guys want to see more of the garden and some more talk on that, join me tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm going to do a little bit of an extended garden chat, and then we'll jump in with garden tea with Farmer Casey as well. I just wanted to mention on one of Sykes' comments there saying have a home in Alaska and that he can dream. And that is a point, you know. People do move sometimes to different areas or visit different areas to avoid the weather. Some people just climatize to it, like Verna was talking about. I was listening to someone interesting on YouTube earlier today, and they were talking about how survival sometimes isn't just go, go, go. Sometimes it's learning to do and kind of go with the flow. So like taking a siesta or a nap in the hottest part of the day, or doing those different things like that. So, and then great idea there, Renegade. Definitely reusing water, recycling and gray water, and knowing those differences. Those are things we're learning, and we need to get better at, and definitely. And hey, Nikki, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And people are saying hi. Awesome. Yeah, good group here. Those big leaves that you don't eat off the cabbage, but great for animals. Yeah, pull them off, and they're all excited. The Three Sisters garden that is just going insane. That garden is the compost that I use, the quail compost, the super nitrogen-rich compost. I filled that bed, and man, the corn and beans and zucchinis and squashes that are in that bed are going insane. So you'll want to check that out, definitely. Let's see. And so, I had wanted to ask just before I get away, I jot down so I don't forget. Renegade, you had mentioned you have a whole bunch of baby chicks, and I just wanted to ask what kind you had hatched out. I'm assuming chicken. I'm really trying to nail down what breeds I like. So we've gone through, 4 breeds now? And so I'm interested in what kind you have going right now. And there we go. Yeah, corn needs the high nitrogen. It's loving it. And I think with planting, we did the wheat and harvested that and then did the corn following it. So the corn got planted a little bit later than normal, but I think we avoided, because of the heat, which the corn doesn't mind, I think we avoided a lot of the little moss that lay the caterpillars, because I don't have any problems on that this year. So that's something I've learned to take note on. As soon as the Three Sisters garden's done in late October, November, more red winter wheat will be going down there. So summer hibernation for some of us, including Age and myself. Yep. Oh, and the dog. He's got a big dog. I'll come out in shorts and flip-flops when it hits 60. Yeah. Hibernation is fine. So my voice is kind of drying out. I'm going to drink a little bit of water here, and I'm actually going to hop in. So the second part, we went on a southern New Mexico trip for some family vacation, and it was a 36-hour trip, but we went to White Sands and then Carlsbad National Park. I showed White Sands on our last video, and there's a whole video of that. So if you haven't checked that out, go see it. It's really neat. I'm almost done with the Carlsbad video, just a little bit of editing at the end. So that's going to come out after this stream or tonight. Hey, Short Pickens Quail, good to see you. Welcome. And you type GBH. So hopefully, let's see, hopefully Nightbot should drop your link. Oh, and we got an answer here. So Buff Orpington, that's actually one of my favorite. That's our oldest bird. I love them. Red laced, blue windowed, light Brahma, Sussex, Buckeye, and golden laced windownet are the breeds you have. Oh wow, okay, how cool. So those are some other ones I'll have to look into. So we have the Buff Orpington, the Silky. We have Rhode Island Red, and then Black Sexling right now. And then quail. So we've been doing a lot with eating the quail and experiencing that. I'm going to be butchering a lot of mine. In about a week here, my Myshire eggs come in. And so we'll be incubating those and getting that going in the incubator I built. And so that's going to be fun to see. Oh, there we go. Nightbot. Looks like Nightbot's going to hop in now and drop Short Pickens'. And you also have Dominique's. I'm probably mispronouncing all this. How cool. What's your favorite breed? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, no, I thought so. I just get confused a little bit. I got to write down these notes. I thought so. I just thought I'd say hi anyways. I feel like I'm yelling at this thing and losing my voice. You're not confusing. My memory's not so great anyways, but I thought that's who you were. So I'm going to go ahead and play our little Carlsbad teaser video. It's about 3.5, 4 minutes long, I think. Hopefully you enjoy that. The Carlsbad video was a little bit longer than the White Sands just because there's so many amazing pictures. If you haven't seen Carlsbad or anything, if you haven't experienced it, go there. But you'll want to watch the video late tonight or tomorrow when it comes out. But enjoy the teaser right now.
Get away from me.
Look how cool, guys. Yep, that's one thing we can't do.
Oh boy. Look how deep we already are. Oh my God.
You can smell the poop. You can smell the poop. It's guano. So my camera's about to run out of space for filming. Casey, shine your light real quick up there. Oh, hold that. Just a sec. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Yeah, is it? This is cool.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, he said that's the original. Is that a stream going down?
There you go. I had to throw the yeehaw in. It was a great trip. It was a ton of fun. So Carlsbad, if you haven't been, to get down to the big room or the main room, it's 750 feet underground. It's a mile and a quarter walk to the main room, and then a mile and a quarter back. They do have a lot of excursions that go a lot deeper and side trails and things. Those you need to book at least a month in advance, and you have to be on the site really as soon as it goes for booking to get that. I wasn't able to do that, but yeah, awesome. So we just did the self-guided tour or the walk. Yeah, we are. And so it was a ton of fun. That's what we did. You'll want to check out the video, though, because there's a whole lot more we got filmed and a lot more to it. And so, yeah, we are blessed. New Mexico definitely has its issues. It has issues with water and with drought and fires, and then, of course, other issues as well. But it does have a lot of beauty. It has a lot of natural beauty and some real wonders. And so those are things that are real close to us, and I haven't taken advantage of seeing and showing my kids. And so that's something I'm trying to do more so. There's not really a lot of cost into doing things like that so much. So hopefully we'll get more of that done. Wait, what's New Mexico's best root cellar? Sneak in a can each trip. I'm a little confused on your comment. But yeah, so we want to do some things around here. Now, of course, we also are trying to get to QuailCon and do some other things like that. And so that's out of the state. So hopefully we will have a lot of video. Yes. It's a deep cave. I actually, yeah, I had made a couple comments down there that probably weren't appreciated too much, but it was a deep cave, and it was a lot of fun to see. So New Mexico has a lot of other neat areas. We went through Roswell, which was a lot of fun, the alien stuff, and I'd like to go see Ruidoso and a couple other areas. We also have some lakes here that are nice, and I'd like to visit. So doing some of that. Oh, yeah. The caverns, thank you. Sorry, I'm a little dense. The cavern is, yeah, the very best root cellar. I guess that animals don't go down there because there's no natural light. It's high humidity, I guess, probably a little bit higher. I would think it would be an excellent root cellar. So if bad things happen, we're all going to Carlsbad. I'm just kidding. Cool. So a couple things I was going to pull up our website and mention our teas, where that's going. And you haven't seen any thumbnails or any notifications there as to where that's going and why. So first, let me pull up our website and show a little bit. Nothing too much has changed on here since the last time. It is going to be changing quite a bit quickly here, though. The bank account's going to be tied to it. Some of the seeds I do have are going to go on sale right away. I'm moving quail supplies that I've been restocking on, quail scissors and feeders and things. Those are going to be hitting the shop in the next week and a half here. People will actually be able to buy things if they like. So I'm going to be soft launching it. I'm not going to make my next week or July 22nd deadline. I have made it with some things, but with Farmer Casey's teas aren't quite ready. We're still harvesting and drying a lot, and I want to do a full launch and celebration kind of all at the same time. I also want to make sure I have really neat sample packs to give away, and so we're trying to get some of that, but I will give you a little sneak peek here real quick. So we got some of our business cards in, and again, we're going to be doing grafted teas and Farmer Casey's gourmet garden teas. And we'll talk about the teas a little bit more tomorrow, specifically about his. I will give you a little sneak peek on our Harmony blend, some of the packaging, and one of our teas. And so that's that there. Kind of neat. And so that's going to be coming. It is going to be a few more weeks. It's not going to be next week. I'm not going to put a timeline on it quite yet. You'll know because I'll be putting a lot of notifications out and posts as soon as that's coming. Just really want to make sure everything is fitting well. Part of with my 9-to-5 job being a little shaky and really just wanting to get away anyways from that and try and build something better for our family. I'm investing quite a bit and really trying to put a lot into this little business and trying to at least get it to be supplemental to our income and things like that. So I want to make sure it's all right when we launch. And so that's what we'll be doing. You will see some soft launch. Some teas may go for sale next week, but the main one will go up soon here. With all that said, you can check out blog posts. I'm going to be posting. If you haven't checked us out on some of our other places, such as Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or some of the other ones I'll show you in a minute, go ahead and do. YouTube, you get some content, videos and lives. You're going to get other content from like my wife's perspective on the other ones. And on Facebook, there's some other little different content and then blog posts on here as well. And so I'm going to be posting some different blogs on urban homesteading, things I've learned, failures, successes, hopefully stuff to help people along there. And so you can see here, there's going to be, for seeds, teas, grafted teas. Enjoy our hand-curated herbal teas. Always 100% herbal teas, carefully curated and sourced. And they're put together here on our high desert urban homestead for your enjoyment. And then we have the Farmer Casey's teas, our own all-natural, never any chemical use, gourmet garden grown herbal teas, grown here on our Southwest Desert homestead. We're also going to be adding in here some local buys. So if you're far away, you may not be able to get, but we'll have local buys with our farm fresh eggs, different things like that. I will be adding in here, though, that we will be shipping is some other herbs and spices. I do want to start now, once we get rolling with this next generation of quail, selling some hatching eggs online here as well. So good stuff to check out coming up. Stay tuned. I'm just kind of giving a little update. But again, with that other means of getting some cool content, check out our Instagram. This is run by my wife at Spicy Peach Farms here. You're going to get her perspective of our urban homestead. Some really neat videos. She does a fantastic job. So you'll want to check out some of the stuff and going on she has posted here. Let's see. and our YouTube, of course, and then TikTok. And so TikTok, quite a few followers actually there, and I'll pull this last one. Hey, thanks Verna for dropping that link. There we go. And it's graftedbranchhomestead.com. So actually what's kind of neat is if you Google Grafted Branch Homestead, our YouTube channel and our website and all that pop up first, at least for me, I don't know. So kind of neat. Here's our potatoes.
Best potato harvest this year, but any harvest is a good harvest. We did not have the best potato harvest this year.
There we go. And then let me show one other thing. Thank you, Verna. So also, if you haven't friended us on Facebook, friend us on Facebook, Grafted Branch Homestead. You're going to get another little bit of different content, some notifications there. I kind of, with starting my shop too, and I know some other sites do this, I talked to Verna a little bit, but I wasn't quite ready at the time. I want to promote other small businesses or homesteader type things, other people's stores or what they're selling, and try and create a little bit of a community, almost a virtual farmers market. I think would be kind of neat, where we can do some exchanges and some buying and selling. I think moving more towards community like that makes sense. And so it's something I'd like to do. I always like to support the little guy and stuff. So you can see some of my Facebook, some of our friends, some different stuff we got on here. Let's see. Oh, that's not my page. That's some of the feed. Okay, here we go. So we got 30 friends now. I was being kind of picky, so if I didn't friend you right away, sorry about that. My wife said, no, you need to friend everyone. It's a business account. So here we go.
Oh,
There's Farmer Casey's drones that he's been loving. Anywho, there's this pot roast we made with some carrots and things. So go ahead and friend us over there if you haven't, if you're on Facebook. I had kind of stopped using Facebook personally, and I never got into TikTok or Instagram. But with doing this and sharing a little bit more, it's fun and it's an experience. Oh, wait, let's see here. So I have a couple sweet potatoes. Some of them didn't do so well. Some of them did well, really good. They're in a pot. I had planned on transplanting them, but didn't so much. So if you're in the chat tomorrow morning, remind me and I'll show that. I'll try and remember. Actually, let me write that down. But I'll show the sweet potatoes. So that sweet potatoes is something we've had some trouble getting going here. I'm going to grab something to show you in just a minute. But I wanted to see here. I missed a few things. It wouldn't give me a button where I could follow you back on Facebook. Oh, okay. I'm not sure. So I don't know how I'm not too good with how Facebook works. I'll have to look into that a little bit. And Mr. Landfill, though, saying send a friend request. Okay, so I will. We will accept that, and we'll do that in a bit here. I'm not sure, Nikki. All right. Yeah, not too sure on that one. Hey, all right, on Instagram. Very good. So we're getting those going. My wife does a great job with that. You'll probably actually enjoy that. So Age, I hope you don't mind me saying, but so Age does some silver work, and she's been doing some rings and some things that are really, really neat. I think is really interesting, and I don't know if I'm sure other people think that's really interesting too. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. There we go. Verna's putting that up. So Verna's the tech here. Awesome. Oh, okay. There's my wife. She says she'll help me. Yeah, I need lots of help. That's for sure. All right, cool. So yeah, we got the teas are coming. Tomorrow's stream, we talked about that. Kind of my push and urgency that's been lit with work a little bit. We've shared our plants and Carlsbad videos and our life insurance. And so that's about what I had planned for this evening. So we're at about 45-minute mark. So I'm going to leave the other 15 minutes here just for us to chat. If anyone has anything they'd like to share that's going on, excitements, successes, failures, any questions for me or the Urban Homestead or anything like that, feel free to share. Any questions about teas or things like that we could talk about as well. I'm going to go grab something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. So speaking of sweet potatoes, Verna, so there's a couple plants here at the Grafted Branch Urban Homestead that a couple plants and a couple spots in the garden that no matter what I've planted there or no matter how hard I've tried to plant these particular plants, I just cannot get them to go no matter what. So sweet potatoes is something I've tried since we've been gardening here. I had no success with getting the slips to grow at all at first. I was able to get a couple to go, but they died the second year. I ended up watering them, some of them last year, and those did okay. We got a couple small sweet potatoes. They were good. And then this year we got some ordered because I couldn't get them started as well and planted those. I'll show you those in the garden. Sweet potatoes have been very difficult for us. Now, when my wife was cleaning and moving some of our potatoes and things like that in the kitchen, and some of that storage here, she found this lovely sweet potato hanging out down there with the other potatoes and things. And look at all those slips. So one thing I've learned with the gardening is oftentimes the plants I try the hardest to get going sometimes fail. And the ones that are either volunteer plants or I just don't try at all are the ones that do really well. So I got some slips here. These are going to go in the ground, actually, probably pretty soon. I'm hoping I can get a fall harvest. In New Mexico, we can harvest all the way up through October a lot of times, depending on what it is. So we got a couple comments. Let's see. Oh, you were on the business account. Okay, maybe that's what. So I'm still trying to get. I'm not putting myself down at all, but I'm not the sharpest guy sometimes. And all of this technology stuff blows me away, so it takes me a little bit. Matt, would you believe this morning this live stream lasted? What? Verna, your live stream? So Verna's live streams are great. They're interesting. One of the things I always have to hop off because of responsibilities or things or the kids need stuff. But her streams go by like that to me. They're interesting the whole time and engaging. 6.5 hours. Wow, Verna. Well, I hopped out around an hour, so I got a whole lot to catch up on. When I was getting out, you had some interesting people it looked like coming up on the stream with you. So I kind of wanted to check that out. It'll let you from your personal. Okay. Well, if you're comfortable doing that, yeah. Perhaps I should send a few plants next year potted. That would work wonderfully. Sweet taters, they do good in straw bales. Our potatoes too. I've heard potatoes will do great in straw bales. The potatoes we did this year did okay. They did good. I don't know. I guess I was expecting a whole lot more, but we actually got a lot. They went in the pot roast tonight. Tasted great. They're Gold Rush. We got a good basket full of them. You can see in my wife's Instagram there. So potatoes did good. I want to get a hay to grow them in. So one of the problems here is like with getting a hay bale in my car and getting it down here. Me and my wife have worked out. possible solution, though, to get a big hay bale here. So I do. Sometimes I'll try too hard. So I've been known to overwater because I think it's too hot. I definitely can overthink things and kill them myself. I think that's what I did to my elderberry, probably. Pippi Longstocking potato farm. That's funny. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's funny. There we go. Yep. And CDB's laughing too. So that's awesome. Renegade, do you do sweet potatoes out here in New Mexico? Verna's saying, the difference between sweet taters and white taters is that white potato greens are toxic. Yes, so I knew that. Whereas sweet potato greens are very good for you. So you've actually told me that, I think last time we talked about sweet potatoes, and you'd asked if I'd eaten the greens. And I hadn't, because I knew that regular potatoes are part of the nightshade family and their greens are toxic. And you actually don't even want to put those in the compost. But sweet potatoes you can, so that's awesome. Yeah, good point. I have not. I think we ate a couple of the leaves last year. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So straw bales as hay will produce a lot of weeds. Yeah. So I know what I've bought for mulch, and the smaller ones, I get the ones with tack and almost seed free. This year with harvesting our wheat, I actually got a lot of straw. To put out, and I was able to make sure there's no seeds in that, but I could see a lot of seeds coming up. I did let some of the wheat seeds that came up through the garden this year just kind of go volunteer and throw them to the chickens. So this year we still did plan designated spots for the different plants. We did plant them in multiple areas in the yard, so if one area fails, other areas don't. We also kind of did somewhat of a chaos garden. That's what my wife likes to call it, where we let a lot of volunteer plants grow where they were. There's kind of some mixture of plants, and then the cover crop and things like that kind of grew in as well. And it actually worked out well because I like to go pull up handfuls of the cover crop and some of those volunteer plants that aren't like the tomato ones or stuff, but ones that I can pull up and give to the birds. And so that's been great. You have not. Okay. Yeah. Greens of the sweet potatoes are like a spinach substitute. All right. They are related to morning glories instead of the nightshades. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So the morning glories, I think, are the flowers I've had to eradicate from my yard because if I understand right, the morning glory seeds, I think, are bad for chickens. They're too hard. From what I understand, so I got rid of those. That has nothing to do with sweet potatoes, but our spinach actually kind of failed this year. So with the heat, if you've been following a little bit, I'm making a greenhouse out of my kids' old trampoline, and so I've been trying to work on that as much as I can, and as much as cost allows me to. My goal is to get it up and going before the end of October. So I can extend our growing season. I want to have lettuce and things like that. Now, a greenhouse here in New Mexico should allow me to grow in there through a good chunk of the winter. At the coldest parts, my plan's to put a small little heater in there. I also, if I do end up putting a DIY underground cistern or water tank under the greenhouse, that should really help with regulating the temperature in the greenhouse. The greenhouse where it's located will be backed up with a large brick wall. The brick walls in my urban homestead here, I've definitely learned are good to use as a resource. They soak up heat in the day and release it at night. So I can use where I put different plants along it that kind of need that or like that to help extend the growing season. So for example, I plant a lot of the peppers that really like the heat along one of the walls. And that is because as the season rolls on in later October and whatnot, that wall will hold some heat and help keep it warm for a little bit longer. At least that's my idea. Oh, okay, but good for animals. about the hay bale. Your feed store sells you part of the bale or lets you take the broken bales for free. Oh, that's neat. Oh, I could ask. Doesn't hurt. How do you feel about hydroponics with carp or trout, depending on the weather, for nutrients, food, vegetables, farm as well? Not sure how it would do in New Mexico. So, Syke, you actually hit on this, and because I lived with you when I did part of this. So I don't know if you remember, but long ago I built a small aquaponics system that had some little fish in the bottom, and it would pull water up to the top, fill the grow bed, and a siphon would uh, it's an auto siphon. I can't think of the name right now, but would dump the water back into the tank, and it worked like that. The system did really well. I used it at one point to grow vegetables up top, and that did really good as well. I haven't done that in a while, but yeah, I really want to do that. I do want to incorporate tilapia or trout or some type of fish here on the urban homestead to give us another meat protein source, and I would like to do to combine that with some grow beds or aquaponics system as well. So you actually kind of hit the nail on the head as to what's been going through my head. So some of Frugal Off-Grid, one of the projects he does is he has his part of his greenhouse is set in the ground, and in there he has an aquaponics system with fish and some garden. I kind of want to do somewhat like that. So in the greenhouse, whether we do underground water or not, or a water tower or not, I did want to get a IBC tank that I cut in half and put in the greenhouse. Now that water in there is going to help regulate the temperature in the greenhouse as well as add humidity. But I can have fish in there that will help them live through New Mexico's cold parts. New Mexico is in the high desert, so even though it gets triple digit temperatures where we're at in the summer, it does fall well below freezing and darn near zero for some parts of the year there. So freezing is an issue as well. So with having the water in there, hopefully that will help the fish to survive, and then also help some grow beds in there as well. So if I can get those, depending on how long where we're at, if I can get those projects done, that's exactly where I was going. So we're on the right bell siphon, yes. So we're on the right thought process. Yep. So we picked our first pumpkin of the year today. It came up as a volunteer and has overtaken one of your turkey runs. Okay. How cool. Volunteer pumpkin. Pumpkins is another plant we have tried so hard in so many places and cannot get to succeed. One year we had great ones, but since then have not been able to. This year we planted pumpkin plants and watermelon plants all over the yard, expecting for them to take over, and they really haven't. So I'm hoping with fall they will. We do have 2 watermelons though, which is a first for us. So congratulations on that pumpkin. I know that feeling. I kind of even think it's a cooler feeling when it's a volunteer plant. And my wife is saying, well, those are the ones we need to save the seeds from because they're the strong ones and the ones that do well here. And she's right. I would like to experiment with aquaponics. Yeah. So I had gotten the idea years and years ago. Oh, man. Probably at least a decade ago when I started getting interested in it. And there wasn't a whole lot out there about it at the time. You can find some big systems. I know different people like Zach at American Homestead had built a huge system and ended up abandoning it for different reasons. I've seen smaller systems like Frugal Off-Grids that work really well. I kind of want to fall somewhere in the middle. The cool thing with the systems using the bell siphons and ram pumps is you can do it with no to very little electricity. So the one I had used a small pump that at the time was plugged in but could easily be put on solar to pull the water up top. And then the bell siphon it uses pressure and system to dump the water, so it doesn't use power at all. A ram pump, if you're on a hill, you could use from the flow of the water to put the water back, and you could theoretically make the system not needing power at all, and then it oxygenates from the water flowing from top to bottom. So done right, the systems make a lot of sense. When you scale up, they get a little bit more difficult just because of different power constraints depending on how you build it. So depending on what areas of the country you're in, how you're building it, there's a lot of variables. So again, it's something I've been working on or kind of thinking, at least in the back of my head, for about a decade. And I really think there's something to it. Also heard duckweed, yeah, high in protein. You can eat and also feeds the fish. Yep. So that you're right on. Duckweed is definitely something you want to grow in there for the protein. Um, then the fish waste feeds the aquaponic beds, and you're going to get little bugs and things as well that fall off. Some people will even put their aquaponic beds under like chicken or quail cages so they can feed off that. I don't, that's probably fine, but I don't really like that practice as much. Doesn't sit too well with me, so I probably won't do that. But Matt, you need to check this out. Drunken Chef. Verna, I saw you get your mail call where you got some of his spices in, and I actually wanted to check that out. So I will check him out. Yeah, so I will check him out. Thank you, Verna. Always appreciate suggestions for new people to watch. And Age, I'll have to talk with you and Psych later, but I don't know how comfortable you would be with maybe showing some of your silver work someday. I don't know if I want to put you on the spot or anything, but it's maybe something to consider. Let's see. Yeah, seed saving the volunteers. System without power would work better. So I'm actually trying to do an incubator without power or with very minimal or solar. I've talked about it a few times. I've run into it. It's all theoretical, I guess, or on paper mostly right now, and I've run into a couple issues there with that. So I'm trying to work through that. But duckweed, vermicide is good for and the quail, and it's high in protein. So actually, that duckweed might be a good, almost like farm crop as well. So do duckweed and sorghum and stuff like that. So we're on to something here. You guys rock. Look at us. I'll have you know I go back and watch my own streams a lot for the things you guys tell me and try to incorporate that. So we need to talk. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. Actually, Psych does some forge work too and stuff. It's too hot right now. These are all things I think people would really love to see. And so we'll have to talk. We went just over an hour. That's what I was planning on. I'm going to hang out just a few more minutes and chat just because I am so enjoying it. But we will be cutting the stream soon. I can't do 6.5 hours like you, Verna. I got a couple things I got to get to. I'm actually going to be rearranging the room I'm sitting in right now. So you'll probably see it different for tomorrow's stream. The reason for that is how this room is set up. I've gotten my solar charge controller finally. Well, I've had some of the pieces for my solar system for a while. I'm going to be starting to put it together inside. My goal is not to take my house off grid. Obviously, I'm at Urban Homestead in the city. My goal is to hopefully get to a point where I can use the grid as the backup almost and start pulling things off. I have to start very small. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have a battery and a couple panels. So I'm going to rearrange where my desk is, and it's going to go on the other side. The first thing I'm going to pull off the grid here on the house. Now, the backyard runs all off grid, but what I'm going to pull off in the house is going to be my computer and the lights in this room. So I have 2 freezers in here, and then this little window air conditioner, keeping the long-term storage cool. So this room does have a good power draw to it. And I've actually had both freezers and the air conditioner compressor kick on at the same time and shut my computer off at one point. So this is going to be moved to the solar, and slowly I'll be building that system and showing that. So my goal next would be to pull the small window AC unit if I can, or really my goal is to get the freezers off grid, but we'll see how far I can get. I am jealous. I had so much air math last year, and we thought we'd have a lot this year from volunteer seeds because they went everywhere. And I don't think any of our air math has popped up. So that is something I'd like to do in a bed by itself. But how cool. Verna, I saw your little updated garden tour, and it looks great as well. I say always, but you blow me away with how much you have going on with where you're at. I had to stop the live stream because I ran out of smokes and needed to eat something. Yep. Yeah, I did. That's a marathon. So I did do a live stream, my 72-hour live stream with incubating, but I was not on it. I was just on it on and off for that. They might grow next year. Yeah, they might. We got 11 people in here still. You guys all rock. I am going to be hopping off. I'm going to go ahead and just say goodbye to everyone real quick and thank everyone. And then we're going to play the like and subscribe video, and I will hop off. But let me read this comment. If you're getting a couple last comments here, I'll read those as well. So Spice of Life's just saying, it did, but I pulled it because it was everywhere. Oh, okay. Hey, cool. Look at that. Be safe. Yep. So thank you everyone for showing up tonight. As always, you guys rock. You really, you make my universe that much better. Thank you, CDB and Verna, for moderating as always. Thank you, Mr. Landfill, for being first in here today. I don't want to miss anyone, so let me try and run through people. If I miss you, I apologize, but thank you. Renegade Black Sheep for being here. Psych 86. We got J. Mary last one. Mr. Landfill, Spice of Life, Verna at Base Place there. Let's see. We have Ages in here. I'm going to run up. Short Pickens Quail or Nikki in here tonight. Did I say? I said J. Mary. Yep. And who else? I know we had some other people popped in. May still be here. Hendrickson's Farm, I think I saw. I'm going to take a moment to catch everyone because I appreciate everyone very, very, very much. Okay, let's see. Maybe I got everyone. Bear with me for just a moment. I want to make sure I thank everyone in here. Okay, well, I believe Hendrickson. And if I missed anyone, I do apologize. You guys have a blessed night. Stay safe, stay dry. If you're in an area that's getting a lot of crazy water weather, if you're in a desert like us, stay hydrated. And as always, stay strong, do the things where you're at, and
remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Tooey.
Party pooper.